Study in Germany, the podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Study in Germany, the podcast. Today's episode is going to be about how to stay and work in Germany, how to find a job, and how to adapt to working life. My name is Jana, and I'm really happy to introduce today's guest, Stamatis from Greece. He has been in Germany for 8 years, and he's currently a software developer for surgical devices in Munich. Hi,
Yes.
Stamatis.
Hi. Thank you for having me. This is great.
So, what would you say is the funniest or weirdest thing about work life in Germany?
So maybe the weirdest thing for me in my work life is how strict some things are. And we were discussing that yesterday with some colleagues I have in India, in Bangalore. They told me, am I allowed to use my private phone? And I'm like, is it a company phone? They're like, no. And I'm like, then I don't think you can do that. It's like, but I think my team leader knows that and he does that as well. And I'm like, are you sure? Then maybe talk with your team leader because maybe you have different regulations. But here, no way. And I remember I did a course where it explained me how things should be done in a company. And in that course, it said, if you want to charge your phone and put your adapter into the wall plug, then you need permission from your manager. And
Sounds German to me.
Yes. And I told that yesterday to my colleagues and they were looking at me, they were laughing. It's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I had to get approval from my manager to charge my phone in the company premise, on premise. Yes. So I guess that would be the weirdest. The funniest, I've never thought about it. I guess it's quite funny when we meet after work, actually. If we meet after work with the colleagues, then for me it's funny because I'm quite an open person, so I try to create discussions. But I know in Germany they try to separate work life and private life. So when we go out, for example, if we need to celebrate something and then we need to talk about something, then I bring my personal life on the table. And then I see everyone is a little bit, let's say, closed to themselves. But once we start doing jokes, then they start open a little bit. So for me, I guess that's the funniest thing I find at work.
So, what made you decide to stay in Germany after your studies?
Wonderful question. I will get right into it. So the main reasons I left Greece was because of my professors and also my friends. My friends saw the skills, I guess, from our discussions and that I liked some robotics and studying robotics and generally studying science. And my professors actually saw my thesis where I did a nice combination of some tools pretty ahead of their time. And you could basically, so let me describe my thesis. You could move in front of a camera. The camera would recognize the angle of your knee and it would provide that angle to an artificial knee. And then that knee would move to your angle. It was very bad, a lot of latency. It did not work as well, but the whole concept was there. And that was this thesis. And that's why my professors were like, you should do something in robotics. You should go abroad. We don't have a master to provide you with more knowledge on that area, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I came to Germany. And of course, the second was the salary and the growth in the career that was not possible to do in Greece. That's also the reason I was thinking of coming to Germany. And now that I came, it's also the same reasons I stay here, because I can grow within my career and even change slightly the title or change slightly the sector I'm working on, but still do it. In Greece, I believe being a software developer is still possible, but changing would not make a huge difference in your life or in your career. It would make a difference, I guess, in salary, also here in Germany. But the growth, I think, here is bigger because also in the medical sector especially, every company does the research and the development in Germany and then provides the machines, the surgical tools to the other companies. So these are the main reasons: the growth, the salary, And now I can tell you, after 8 years, also the everyday life. I'm really used to the German way of living, especially being in Munich. I really love Munich. It's a nice city, a big city. It has everything I need, and every weekend you can go and do something new. It's really amazing.
And that's nice that you also appreciate the city you live in, as well as the flexibility and like career changes and everything. And it sounds like you had a lot of support and like mentorship back in Greece already.
Yes.
Did you also have that in like the beginning of your career? Did you have a lot of people to rely on for support?
Yes, I was lucky enough, not a lot of people, but I had the people I needed. And I was very lucky because of course, I had my best friend. She lives in Stuttgart, and she helped me a lot to get into the German language, to understand some stuff. I remember when I was a student in Lübeck, I was even texting her, like, how is Gurken, how is cucumber in German? I cannot find it. And he's like, Stamatis is Gurken, like, it's Google it. But in those stores, I had no fast internet, so only Messenger could work very fast. So I was like, hey, how do... So definitely I had help on that. And then she also became, with her husband, a mentor on the way of how things are being done in Germany, what you should take care of or what you should be aware of. This is really helpful to have someone tell you that, hey, this is how it works in this country. Is it migration? Is it everyday life? Is it, I don't know. It's really great. And then during my career, I met many nice people, and some of them were in a similar age like me. For example, my very good friend, he's also living in Munich, and he is the mentor on my first job, the first professional job that I found after my master. He was the one that pushed me forward to become better. And he is also the one that also taught me to reevaluate myself, and not reevaluate, reconsider the value of myself. Because I'm used to a Greek culture where if you don't do specific things at your work, then the boss could very easily fire you. So I was very, stressed and scared, like, oh, I should not ask for this amount of money, or I should not do this, and I should say yes to every task they give me, right? And then you get a burnout. And my friend and my then colleague, he saw that, and he's like, dude, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work overtime. You can still do it in 8 hours. And if you don't have enough time, you continue the next day. And I'm like, yeah, but we need to do it in 2 weeks. And the boss said this and that. He's like, yes, but you need to take care of yourself first. So he was definitely a good mentor on that area, on the professional side. And up until now, we split. He went to another company. I went to another company. But we still have a very good friendship. So I hope I consider him my best friend. I can say I was very lucky, but some people told me that you were not really lucky. Some people told me that because you were friendly and you were the person you are, then you, what's the English word? You attracted the right people.
Yeah.
So that maybe I say I'm lucky, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Or maybe it's both. Yeah, true. Being in the right time and with the right people. True.
Yeah, but I guess you could be grateful without calling it being lucky, because I think it's very true. What you give out into the world, the way you behave towards people, it definitely helps to be friendly, and that's how you end up with people close to you who support you.
Yes. And I can say, even working at non-career specific jobs, even there I found people, and German people, because when I left Greece, everyone was a bit skeptical, like, be careful, other different culture, different people, so make sure to understand and talk differently and so on. And I was really surprised because even in those little jobs that I had to do during my student life, people were so friendly. If you just saw motivation and saw that, hey, yes, please tell me, what is this? What is that's in a kitchen? I learned about Gurken, Tomaten, Zwiebeln. I didn't know the names of them, and there was a German lady that came to me. It's like, what is this? Every day that I was working there, she was like, what's that? I'm like, oh, das ist Zwiebeln. It's like, okay, sehr gut. What is that? What's that? Das ist Gurken. Wie viele Zeit braucht denn Fleisch? And then I was like, yeah, 30 seconds. Wrong, 35 seconds. When you need to bake it, you need to count time. But anyway. But yes, being friendly is, and being open is a very important thing also to find the right people.
But that's another thing, like a way to learn German is also to like immerse yourself in the culture, for example, by having jobs, be it part-time jobs or working after your studies.
Definitely. Even if your studies are not dependent on you having a job, I believe there are so many mini jobs, and there are also so many heavy jobs, which is the heavy jobs are the university jobs for students, and mini jobs are any kind of jobs that anyone could work without paying Steuer, taxes, which is perfect for a student because you don't need a lot amount of money, you need some. And I think, as you said, being immersed into that and try speaking the language, it's actually, that's how I learned German.
Yeah.
I did not tell you that, did I?
No.
So, do you want to hear the story?
Please. I mean, we need to know. Did you have German language skills before you came? How did you develop them?
Yeah. So, when I was in Greece, I had no German courses, and before 2 months before I came to Germany, I did some fast-paced courses. And within those fast-paced courses, I just learned the basics. Ich will Wasser, ich will da gehen, wo ist das U-Bahn, wrong pronunciations, wrong anything. But at least I knew just the basics to get my way to the university.
Yeah.
And this I did for 2 months, but my budget was not allowing me to extend it. Otherwise, I could have done a year or 6 months, which would be great. A year of German, like reaching the A1 certificate or the A1 level, A1. It's quite good enough to go into a city, talk to people, find the places. And then I came to Germany. Thankfully, that's why I was in Lübeck, actually, because back then there was this new rule or new regulation that you needed to pay some amount of money if you were a non-European citizen. And also together with that, most of the universities needed either A2 certificate or B1. For example, I think Heidelberg needed a B1. I had nothing.
Yeah.
So Lübeck didn't need it anything. Even for a master studies in English, because my master studies was in English, they didn't need any certificate in Lübeck. And I went there. And then, of course, I had to work to maintain my studies, to pay the bills and pay the rent. And by rent, I mean the student dorms. Even if it's a student dorm, you still need to pay. It's just very, very little amount of money. I think it was around 200 euros or something like this, which was perfect because you were next to your university, next to the Mensa. So you didn't have to pay about most of the other stuff. So you were able to save a lot of money. Anyway, so I had to find a mini job. I had to find a job. And I found one. It was a Zeitarbeiter. As a free rate, hourly rate
hourly work.
employee. And that's the first time I was exposed to only German. And I remember the first day I worked for a post office in the north of Lübeck. And there, every post that needed to go to the Scandinavian countries was coming there, and we had to split it. And we split it to different tracks, and then those tracks go to different places. And I remember the guy came to me, and he's like, so, du musst Norwegen und Finnland dahin drücken. So easy. And I was like, aha, ich, Norwegen, drucken, here. So very basic, like this is all I knew. And I was always asking, nochmal bitte? Because I was not understanding anything in the beginning. Of course, he was not talking like this, like I just, he broke it down, I guess, for me, because he understood I'm not completely German, but only for the first few minutes. After that, he was only talking to me normally in German, like, we should go do this, that.
Yeah.
And I was so stressed. Every day it felt so heavy.
Maybe we fast forward a little bit to how you found your job after university, the first one at least.
Yes. It's a difficult story and also I guess it's not a little bit relevant to our times now, because when I had to find a job, it was Corona time.
Yes.
So it was very difficult and the situations were very different from what it is right now. But I can still tell you how it was. On paper, I'm Albanian. On documents, I'm Albanian. Even though I come from Greece, I still have the Albanian nationality. That means I'm here with a visa. So once you finish your studies, the moment you get your Abschlussbescheinigung, the certificate of studies, completion of studies.
Yeah, transcript of records.
Yes, yeah, exactly. The transcript of records. Then officially you're not a student anymore. And in Germany, if you have a student visa, then you either need to apply for, I'm looking for a job visa, Jobsuche visa, or you need to find a job before you finish your studies and then you get a working residence permit.
Right.
Or you have those 6 months being a student because your visa has an end date. I think it's still valid until, for example, if I finish my studies in July and my student residence permit ends in September, I still have some time legally as a student in that residence permit. So what I did back then, I had to do a Jobsuche visa, a visa. This is where Germany says you finish your studies, you have 18 months. I'm not sure if the times now are different, but back then it was 1.5 years, so 18 months of time to find a job. And if you don't, then unfortunately you need to go back to your home country. It was Corona time, so that means it was very difficult to find a job. No one was hiring, and those that were hiring remotely, and those few were not there. I still did it. I still tried to do my best. It took me 6 months. And the difficulty, actually, and also maybe that's interesting for the people listening to this, the difficulty was not finding the companies and doing the application. The difficulty was how to handle the rejection. That's the most difficult in looking for a job. And I had the mentality back then of every 10 rejections, I review my CV and my cover letter again. And that's how I did it. And thankfully, after 6 months, there was this company in Munich who said, I was looking to do something with software development for augmented reality. So I was an XR developer. I wanted to be an XR developer. That was my dream job. And then I found this company and then I applied and I asked for minimum salary because I wanted to make it as easy for them to hire me, right? And I know also that for me, being after my studies, I was scared to ask for more.
Yeah.
So, and because of the visa and because of the situation in Corona, I said, okay, I want minimum right now. If it wasn't for Corona, I might have asked a little bit more because I did the master's. So a little bit more above, maybe 5,000 or 10,000 above my minimum salary. But anyway, so that's what I did. And then this company, we had an interview. The boss was like, I can understand your German. You can understand mine. And I talk a lot and very fast. I was like, no, you don't. It's like, no, it's okay. That's what you say now because you made me once. And then the vibes matched and he's like, yes, come in. And I told him, but wait, before you hire me, I can speak a little bit German, but on technical stuff, I cannot explain you what I'm going to do in the code in German. I can do it only in English. It's like, yeah, don't worry. We just want you to, we want us to be able to communicate. Then what you do in the code, you can do it in English. We will definitely understand that. And that's how I found my first job in December 2020. So now the times are a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's no corona. There are no restrictions. It should be a bit faster to find a job.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I think it's still good for listeners to know that it could take that amount of time because I don't think it's that unusual. And also, it's not unusual to maybe first face a lot of rejections.
Yes.
And that's also like, it's not you, it's just how the game is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say whoever wants to listen this, don't be afraid. Take the rejection and use it to become better. That's what I did. So someone says, I'm sorry, we rejected you. We find another candidate with whose skills much better.
Yeah.
It's okay. Find your CV, revise it, go to someone else, ask your friends for help. We call it 4 eyes principle in software development, which means I build it, you check it also. So tell your friends or your cousin, your family, whoever has some experience on that area. And ideally, you want someone that has some experience also either in working or hiring. Because for example, if your parents have a bakery, then they have done an interview, so they know what to look for a candidate. That means you give them the CV and you ask them, hey, how does this look for you? I'm looking for a software developer job. And then maybe they spot out something that you didn't. And that's what I did with my friends. I told them, hey, this is my CV. And then my friends were like, okay, first maybe put your experience first, because in Germany, that's how you do it. I don't see your language skills. I don't see your soft skills. And then you try to put them in a nice way. And it's like, you should not make it more than 1 page, or maybe make it 1.5, 2 maximum.
Yeah.
Depends on how much you want to add. So all of this needs to be there, yes. And even after I found the first job, I searched for another job. And that was also, as you said, a bit difficult, but it was faster. So within 3 months, I found my current job. And yeah, it was, I would not have found this current job if another one had not rejected me.
Exactly.
And you know, every job I do it with love. So this is also currently my job. I love it. I like it. I'm learning a lot. So yes, go for it. That's what I would say.
How did you find the transition from student life to working life?
Oh, I guess I never thought about it because I feel still a student, right?
Maybe. Also nice.
It's yes. It's interesting. How did this? So I definitely the first sign that I'm an adult was when I moved out from the WG from Stuttgart in my own apartment in Munich.
Yeah.
That was the first big wow. And I remember the first days I was still eating the same food that I was eating back then. I definitely had a lot of pizza in my freezer and a lot of soft drinks, you know, the ones we drink as students.
Exactly.
But yes, in Munich, when I moved in on my own, was the first thing that showed me, okay, you're not a student anymore. But then the thing is, so what happened, what I did, I don't regret it, but I guess financially was not the best thing to do. You know, when I like the expression someone told me, when you're thirsty or very thirsty, just 1 cup of water is not enough. You need at least 4 or 5. So I was thirsty a lot on gadgets. And my budget was good enough, but I did not take care of well enough of my budget. And I bought a lot of expensive stuff. Because all these years I was like, oh, I would love to have an expensive phone. I would love to have this expensive console. And I want to play this video game, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff happened at once. And there it was like, I know mentally I was an adult, not mentally, from a work perspective, professionally, I was an adult living on my own, doing my expensive, paying my bills. So I never had debt, but I was never able to save a lot of money. And then the ones I was saving, I was going on vacation. So there I was still a student. I was still experimenting, I would say.
I'm still excited about the prospect of having your own money,
Yes.
enough to actually go on vacation and buy things you want.
Yes.
I think a lot of people get overexcited about that at the beginning.
I got overexcited about it. It was crazy. I was buying a lot of stuff, and I think this is the first year that I try to fix all the issues I did back then, because one thing brings the other. So it's like a snowball. If you keep doing it, and it never stops. And then last year, I guess I was not thirsty anymore. But I still need to accumulate to fix what I did financially wrong, someone would say. But I don't regret. This was wonderful. I needed the stuff I needed. At that point, some of them made me happy. And then once I had everything, I was like, why I'm not happy anymore? And then I was like, yeah, I don't go out so much. I don't see the sunlight. I work too much. And then, then you realize, okay, maybe I should not, I don't know, play on the weekends 10 hours, video games.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. So maybe I'm an adult now, and maybe I should go out. Maybe I should meet some people, some friends, And that was, I think, last year or 2 years ago, where it was the next phase in my life that, okay, I'm not a student anymore. I'm living in Munich. Of course, when I moved, it was Corona time. Not so many things were happening. And after Corona, mentally, I guess you could say I was a bit tired.
Yeah.
So I needed some time. So the whole 2022, even though things were opening, dance schools and so on, I was doing nothing.
Yeah.
I needed, I guess, a break. And then I started going out in 2023, going to places, finding out, eating some food, finding my favorite restaurant, finding my favorite bar. I love jazz. I have the best jazz bar in Munich. For me, at least, there are 3 or 4. I've been only to 2. This one I love. So all of this stuff then bring into your perspective that, okay, I'm not a student anymore. So the transition, I cannot tell you from one day to the other,
No.
I was not a student anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if other people are more mature than me, then maybe it happens within a few weeks or months. But for me, I guess it needed a long time. It needed at least 2 or 3 years to say, okay, not a student anymore.
Yeah, it's an adjustment period, I would say.
Yeah.
So what are your future plans now?
That's a nice question. I have many dreams. And that's what I tell my friends, and I try to explain them. I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer, I'm a creator. And I like to do that also in my professional work as a software developer. I like to do that as an actor, during acting, call it side hustle, call it a hobby, whatever. I even do it in 3D printing, for example. I like to create, I like to 3D print, I like to take the screwdriver and start building stuff. This I love. So definitely I have a lot of stuff that I want to do in my future. But if you only consider professionally, I definitely want to stay in Munich. I like the city. I like the country, Germany, so I don't want to move out right now. And I would consider myself to stay here for the next 10, 20 years. And if possible, I can go out to Rente, to pension from in Germany. After that, maybe I move back to Greece and have a small house with a garden, do my own tomatoes.
Yeah.
I think this dream comes a bit more from my father's side. He likes to have that. He's building that right now. And I also have seen it because in Greece I lived a little bit outside the city, outside of Athens. So it's considered countryside. So I like to have this space. So even if I stay in Germany when I'm older, I think I will still move out Munich or a little bit outside, because I definitely want my grill place and tomato. And yes, so that's professionally, that's my future plan. Now that I'm also in a relationship, I also want to start enjoying life in different ways. Just going to the park, going outside, especially with my relation. But even if I'm alone, I just want to go meet, so see some places, visit other cities, especially visiting other countries, because Munich is in a very central place. So you can be in Italy, you can be in France, you can be in Czech Republic. It's very easy to get in those places. So definitely exploring would be also a future plan right now.
Yeah, that all sounds lovely.
Yeah.
At the end of each episode, we always give out 3 top tips. So we would ask you for your top tips when it comes to working life, finding a job, etc. For listeners, what would you say?
Yes. First tip that I would say, if you come to Germany, try to learn the language and the culture. It definitely helps. It definitely helps communicating. And you have no idea, you can walk on the street, just say something with a stranger. They are very open. Germans are very open when we are outside. I've never met someone, maybe I'm lucky, but I never met someone that will not talk to you unless they are in a group of friends. But if the situation is right, people will talk. So you need to have the German language to have the conversation going. Of course, in Munich, it's quite international. You could still do it in English, but learning the language and the culture is nice because I also see it. If I was German going to Greece, now that I know what Greece is, it would be nice to know a little bit about the history, the place you are going, the culture, how to talk, why this happened, have the basic idea. This is very helpful. So that would be my first point. The second tip would be what one of the people I admire a lot on the web, Gary, says, be friendly. So you can still be nice and be successful. So just be friendly, talk nice. You don't know what happens to the other people's lives. When I was a student and I was having two jobs, working 14 hours, and I was going into the bus at 11 o'clock in the night, going back home, I would like someone to just say something nice to me. We don't have to be best friends.
Yeah.
You just say hi. You just say, hey, how was your day? I'm sorry, go for it. Just be friendly. Also at your work, be friendly. It's gonna open so many doors. Do it genuinely. Don't fake it, because people can understand when you fake.
They know.
Yes. And the third point is what a legend once said, be water, my friend. So in many situations, you need to adapt.
Yeah.
And that's what Bruce Lee back then said. Be water, my friend. If you are in a glass, be like the glass. If you are in a vase, be like the vase. So if you go and you be a software developer, adapt to it. Become a software developer. How do they think? How do they act? If you want to do project management, adapt to it. If you want to do anything you want to do in life, I think this applies to most of it. So just adapt to it. So, and then this combination of those 3, I think, can lead you in a very successful life. And by the way, just to make sure, success is defined by yourself. So by success, I don't mean have a career, have a job, have money or whatever. You could be successful just by, I don't know, owning a car and earning 1,000 euros. It's perfect. So when I mean success, it's what you define success. And I think these 3 points, these 3 tips can help you get there.
Thank you, Stamatis, for being on this episode.
Thank you very much also for having me. And I hope the listeners could get something out of it.
Yep, I'm sure they will. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the last episode of this season on Study in Germany, the podcast. You can find further information on our website, which is also in the show notes. Please feel free to leave us a review and also listen to all of our other episodes wherever you find podcasts. Thank you and goodbye.